Welcome back to the Balancing Act. I've got my man Andre Mytty. Really coincidental way that I met you, man. I haven't been on Facebook in years.
Yeah.
I was about to move November 1st, so I hopped back on because of Facebook Marketplace.
Hmm.
And I was just like, I'll be friends with like Brian Sprague and James True and like some of these really cool people that I've met.
Right.
And you were just suggested to me. I clicked on your profile and it says balancing the dualities, and I'm like, okay.
Oh
And you're
shit.
a podcaster, and you're into hip hop. I was like, all right, well, I need to talk to this guy.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty much winging it tonight. I was like, based on all of that, I was like, I think we're just going to be able to have a free flowing conversation without me having to like bullet point ideas. But one place that I like to
100%.
start with everybody, and especially, I can tell you're already psychedelic aware,
Yeah.
but I think our stories are super powerful, even if we're aware that we are not our story.
Yeah.
Sharing our stories with other people, I actually do think that there's a lot of value in what they call vicarious learning. I know
Yeah.
some things we have to learn on our own, but I do find a lot of value in each other's stories. So I noticed, I didn't get a chance to listen to it, but I noticed your first couple of episodes on your podcast called Ascension of the Chessman
Yes, sir.
was your awakening story, which I have been a little bit hesitant to just tell my story. I'm gonna do it this year. I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna have like a monopod and just tell my story.
Yeah.
Just not quite ready yet, I don't think. But what's your origin story, even like the prequel to your awakening story? And then we can refer people to those episodes if you want, but you can give a brief summary of your awakening story as well. But I like origin stories. Where did you originate from, Andre?
Yeah. I'm from Fremont, Nebraska originally. Born and raised there. Went to a uh, tiny Catholic school in a really small town. Grew up in a really small bubble. My dad was an elected official all my life. He retired about 5 years ago. So like growing up, my dad was Democrat. My mom, her side and her beliefs were more Republican. So like I saw both sides. Like from an early age, it started to kind of see through the two-party bullshit and like just like how black and white it was, and like seeing the gray even through that, and just knowing that there was more, and knowing that I had more questions than I had answers, and I was questioning from a young age, man. And I always seemed like I was never like everyone else, and I always felt like kind of an outcast, or like I was late to the party of like trying to feel normal. Like I never felt like what that meant. Like, I was like, "Why am I the only one still asking questions? Like, everyone would be satisfied. I seem to have more questions." And that just never left me, man. Like, and that kinda led me down my path, to, where I am today. But, uh, I can go deeper into all
Yeah,
that,
definitely.
but I just wanted to trip you out for a sec. So, dude, I was thinking back, dude, I think we actually met at Shangri-La in person, bro.
Nah,
Yeah, dude.
I never been there.
Oh, really?
Really,
For real?
for
Damn.
real.
I
I just
mixed
got
you
back
up with
from
someone
Mexico.
else.
It was like my first time out of the country. Well, I went when I was 18 with my entire family to like a tourist resort in the Dominican Republic. You can go to a tourist resort anywhere. I went to Teotihuacán, the ancient
Okay.
pyramids, and like yeah, it was an
So
amazing
I'm
time of my
talking
life.
about a festival up in Minnesota.
Nah, I've never been there.
Really, dude?
Really,
Okay. I
I've
I
heard I've
was
had
mixing
I
you up
heard,
with
yeah,
dude, it was tripping me out because I'm like, I swear I met this dude like last year, and like little did I know he had a podcast, and like I was telling
no,
myself this whole story, but okay, I had you mixed up with somebody then.
it's not the first time that's happened. Um,
Because literally, like I thought I added you after that, and like that's how we became Facebook friends. But I didn't realize you added me just randomly. Okay, so
yeah, yeah,
okay,
yeah.
my
Yeah,
bad, dude.
dude. No,
That's off.
that's awesome. So yeah, I was looking at your podcast earlier. Andre Zertis, Foster Gamble, Mark England, Brandon Thomas, Sam Tripoli. Is the Jay Widener the same Jay Widener that did Kubrick's Odyssey?
Yes, sir.
That's amazing. Nick Hinton, Hamilton Souther, Rick Strassman, Brandon Joe Williams, who I've had on, and then Ben Stewart is like a has a special place in my heart because Kymatica like changed my life.
Me too, bro.
That is just such an incredible piece of art. Yeah, I've had him on a couple times. I want to get him back on. He's just amazing to me. Tommy Chong, Chris August, and so I was like, yeah, this guy's definitely in my lane. But I do want to get back to your story a little bit. So you said Catholic school, was that like K through 12 Catholic school?
No, so it's kind of trippy because I was baptized Lutheran as a baby, right? Because my dad's side was Lutheran and my mom's side was Catholic. So not only did I have like the diverse political like sides of the family, I also had different religions, even within you
Christian
know,
framework, yeah.
the Christian framework, right? So I quickly realized too, even within that, like, wait a minute, like Christians like don't get along. Like, how could this be? And like even that did make sense to me. And so yeah, I mean, there was just issues on opposing sides of the aisle with that even. And it kind of awakened me in that way too from an early age. And I was always like trying to feel home in the church, because that's the only pathway I knew at that point, in those early days, in my younger years. Like, that's what I was taught. Like, this is how you connect to God or whatever we call God, or like knowing we have a spirit and like we are connected to all things. And so it was the pathway of like growing up Lutheran, and I was pulled out of Lutheran school in second grade. Had to go to a public school because I was having trouble reading and like had a speech impediment. Um, so uh, they just couldn't handle me, I guess. Like, I was always like acting out, like, I feel like kids like us, like, we just don't fit in a classroom setting. Like, we like to learn at our own pace. Like, we learn differently than others. I resonate with that with you as well because I feel like there's a connection with that.
Y- Yes and no, actually. So during my grade school years, I was like goody two shoes,
Oh, for real.
really good at standardized tests and math. I mean, I wasn't great with languages.
Yeah.
English and foreign language was my weakness, but like math especially, I was super smart and well behaved. But when I got to college, thankfully, I mean, I took philosophy. I
Hmm.
changed my major from economics and business to philosophy, and that allowed me
Wow.
to enjoy the learning experience. But otherwise, after some of the psychedelic trips early in my college years, and getting introduced to cannabis, which I drank during my high school years, but I didn't smoke. And the first time I smoked, that was like a genuine truth serum experience. Like, oh, I've been lied to. Like, this is not what I've been told it is. You know what I mean?
100%, brother.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, cannabis was a big doorway for me, like early on, and an iconic film I remember watching that kind of reshaped my view on like what cannabis meant to the world was The Union, the business behind getting high.
yeah, I saw
And
that one as
yeah,
well. It's great.
I
It's a great
mean,
one.
that one is a paradigm shifting documentary, especially like at an early age when everything you've been told was a lie. I mean, not just about this plant, but like so many other aspects of society and how the world works. And, just like forming that worldview in such a small bubble, like, it really
I do
made me a
relate to that.
rebel.
I grew up in a
Yeah,
small town as well, so I can definitely relate to that.
for sure. But yeah, I would say like growing up around politics and religion heavy, um, just parts of the family not being willing to literally speak to us if we didn't convert to a religion. Like, it was stuff like that that was like, wait a minute, like people were like putting a price on people like all over a
Yeah,
religion they belong to. And
or
like,
of control, trying to control other people's choices and
right.
lifestyles. Yeah,
But you know, also like starting to learn about the pedophilia within Catholicism. And honestly, like after I left Catholic school, after graduation, or Catholicism in general, which was my own choice. And I think it was, just starting to see through things like my elder years of high school, junior, senior year, um, just kind of getting to this place, which I always felt like a misfit because I was kind of pulled um, out of public school, not by my choice. Like my parents sent us there as like a disciplinary thing for a mistake of my brother's when he was young, and thought we'd get a better education and like better upbringing in a private school. And I'm grateful for like I guess in some ways it kept me out of trouble, and I'm thankful for that and like being kept away from certain things. Like when I hear what other kids have been exposed to, like exposed to harder drugs and stuff like that, like the fact I was kept away from that, like I'm eternally grateful for, that part of things. But and just like the morality sense as well, like teaching me right from wrong, at least from a religious perspective, like in my upbringing, like did teach me certain aspects of, you know, learning to navigate those waters. But initially, like my seeking was through, learning the lies about cannabis, about 9/11, loose change, Zeitgeist.
Zeitgeist was big
Those
for
were
me as well. Yeah.
pivotal documentaries around that time. And the other one was Transcendent Man,
Okay.
um, which I don't know if you've heard of that one or seen
Hmm.
it. um, it's with Ray Kurzweil. He was like this
Hmm.
futurist,
I did
and
read one of his books,
okay,
Singularity book. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and he was talking about the singularity and living forever and all this shit, and it started to open my eyes to where technology was going, and just really started to dive down the rabbit hole at that point. But just opening my mind to whole new perspectives, but also like still having that religious upbringing in me that kind of kept me still on that pathway. And at that point, I was kind of seeking out a church around that time and ended up at this Pentecostal church of all things, which to me at that time it was like, I guess like it's more like lively and like people were like jumping up and down, like speaking in tongues, and like it's a lot like more
Engaging.
engaging than like a dry Catholic mass,
Hmm.
and because I would like watch my dad fall asleep during the homilies at Catholic mass. I'd be like, well, why are we here? Like we could just be taking a nap right now, but like so
Probably more
uh
beneficial, honestly.
right. So I ended up at this Pentecostal church, really connected with my pastor, and he like told me this powerful story of like how he became a pastor. And he said he was living in this trap house in Michigan, and like all these there was all this commotion, and he was tripping on acid. And all of a sudden, again, there was all this commotion, and there's this chessboard on the table, and like flew off the table, and one piece stood up straight on the chessboard on the floor, I believe is what it was, and it was a white king. So he saw that as like a sign to like clean up his life and do something more, and to him that meant going to Bible school and becoming a pastor. So I really connected with that at that time because like I had some experience with it, and I was like, like
You mean with LSD?
yeah, he found God like through this. And I'm
Yeah.
like, but yet it like totally changed his life, but like made him a Puritan. And like people, Steve Jobs like developed Apple, saying it was inspired from, his that experience. And, it
Oh no, I've dabbled.
yeah. So it was like for me, like that not many pastors will say that was their story of how they found God, you
True.
know, and I connected with that. So like that kind of led me into that for a while. And eventually I would go on to have my own experience with Lucy. And, you know, the rest is history. But, you know, that experience alone, it was kind of by accident. You know, I was kind of resistant to it at first. I had tried it once and thought nothing of it. You know, I laughed a lot my first time, but like didn't get much from it. But like it was like a bolt of lightning of awareness came through me through that first experience, uh, or I guess that second experience, where I wasn't expecting it. You know, like I wasn't expecting to have this like spiritual awakening, like realizing that we're all one, like realizing you're one with a tree, you know, and like connecting with that, realizing we're interchanging like oxygen and carbon dioxide like instantaneously. And it's just like harmonic, you know, but we're like tuned out from that. And like
Hmm.
these are just like giant fucking plants, you know. And at one time, I'm sure we had even bigger trees. Who knows? Like Devil's Tower, that's up for debate.
Yeah, well,
But
there's a lot more than just that. Yeah,
right.
I would certainly argue in favor of ancient civilizations, ancient gigantic
Oh,
fungi,
for
ancient
sure,
gigantic
dude.
trees, ancient giant people.
God knows.
um, yeah. What? So let me just ask, what happened during that first experience?
That first experience, it was more like,
Or
uh,
I guess the first, the one where it was more
breakthrough.
spiritual. Yeah, the
Yeah.
breakthrough.
Um, I I just recall walking barefoot, and, like, that being a game changer and, like, feeling grounded for the first time and, like, truly, like, feeling the charge, like, the earth is giving me as I walk barefoot upon this living thing, Mother Earth, you know, Mother Gaia, and, like, it it just never occurred to me before apparently, like, until that moment, and it was ironic because like me and my buddy were just walking down this alleyway and I was wearing flip-flops and he's like, I was like, you know, I really want to walk barefoot because like there's a couple other buddies with us and like two of my buddies were barefoot and like the rest of us had flip-flops or shoes, right? And I got my flip-flops on and I'm like, why do I even have these on right now? Like my buddy's like, why do you have them on? He's like, I mean, you could take them off. And like at that moment, I just took them off and I started running. And like it felt like that scene in Forrest Gump when like his shackles fall off and he
Broke out
just
the
keeps
chains.
running.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he just never stops running. And like it was like that movie played out my life, like that scene. And I came back home and like just like sat in just awe and bliss, dude. Just like, wow, like I was so wrong about everything.
Yeah. And how hilarious it is that
Yeah,
you've been
how
wrong about everything.
100%, dude. Like,
Yeah.
and like the first time it was like just like kids having fun. Like we didn't know what we were doing, you know, just laughing, like thinking it was never going to end. But like this other time, like years later, I think I was ready to take on more and like ready for that lightning bolt. And like I was truly seeking like
A
a
deeper
connection.
experience.
Yeah, a
Yeah.
next connection with something greater than myself or just with myself, my wholeness. And it was given to me, you know. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's when the shift happened for me initially.
And this was like you're like,
I was probably like 22,
okay, gotcha.
23. Yeah.
Have you had any experience with like mushrooms or any other like natural aside from cannabis?
So I had one experience with mushrooms before that, and again, I we didn't know what we were doing. Like we were just watching like trippy YouTube videos like endlessly, and like thought we were done. Started driving, like big mistake there. And like switched driving multiple times and like my buddy started talking to me about his dad that committed suicide
Oof.
and it was really tough first experience for me and honestly like I was scared away for a little while after
Mm.
that And Lucy really met me that second time after a couple years or a year after that first mushroom experience. And then years later, many more. But, um, it's just been really for me at this point, just like grounding and like integrating fully and like learning to see life through that lens every day, and like truly living that what I felt lived in those experiences, and like knowing that the medicine's always going to be there, but for right now in my life, I feel I am the medicine, and I feel you are the medicine, brother. We all are, and that's the beauty of it. Um, I sat with Aya a few times, ayahuasca,
Mm.
and that one really cracked the door open for me. But I was also coming out of a long-term relationship, good 10 years, 6 years living together, 3 years off and on. And, it was a lot for me at that time. And I'm grateful for everything it brought up in me, learning how to feel again after, I feel maybe recklessly using cannabis a little too much.
Yeah, I've been there.
And not having a hold on it and like just like relying on it to function, but knowing that again, cannabis is always going to be there too, and like it's a medicine that will call out to you when you need it, and that's kind of where I'm at now. Is like I just wait for the call to answer, and until then, working on integrating my previous experiences, man, because it's like I feel like I could take multiple lifetimes to integrate all I took from those. Those were tremendous. And in between those Aya ceremonies, sitting with 5 grams in silent darkness was a powerful experience for me as well.
Yeah, I've never even done 5 whole grams, to be honest with you.
Oh, for real?
Um, but yeah, I do like mushrooms, and I've used peyote before. I've never done ayahuasca.
Have you?
Um,
You
but yeah,
sit
I
in a
mean,
ceremony?
yeah, it's a member as a
Wow.
member of the Native American Church. Yeah, I've never even really done a whole lot, but there was one experience that was very healing. I had my feet run over by a forklift in 2012. And
Wow.
had reconstructive surgery on both of my right foot was completely crushed. My left, there's totally different injuries. The right foot got run over, but it didn't break the skin at all. But it just ran right over my foot and crushed damn near every bone in the right foot.
Oh my
Whereas it like
God.
clipped my left big toe, so it only really affected my left big toe on my left foot. But at the angle that it hit it, it broke the skin. Blood was gushing. I could see my bone. It was pretty fucking gnarly, and I got
Holy
it
shit.
partially amputated. Um, but I felt the spirit of the cactus for sure on one experience where it was like it was like reallocating all of my nutrients and like
Yeah.
all of my chakra and energy and just giving it all to my feet, knowing that my feet needed it right then, and it was in me, so I had the extra energy
Wow.
anyway, like a Mario mushroom or something.
Right.
But yeah, no, it's to me, and I'm an advocate for plant medicines without a doubt, but to me, anything that connects you to the divine, I love talking about it, but at the same time, it's beyond words. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Words don't do it
The
justice.
Tao that you can name is not the eternal Tao.
Oh,
So, but at the same time, there is something there that I like to talk about because I like to try to point people toward that truth that is beyond words, the
yes.
source of us even being able to speak, and communicate with sounds.
Right.
Whatever that source is, I mean, you can use the word light, but even that word is a sound that we've agreed to mean
Right.
this is this. You
Right.
know what I mean? It's like, yeah, it's a trip for sure.
I always say life's a trip, enjoy the ride,
Yeah.
brother.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I love all of those substances, and especially when they're used consciously and responsibly. But to me, I've tripped so much at this point, like breath work,
Yes.
yoga, just like being mindful, just checking yourself in any given moment, really.
Right.
Awareness
Yeah.
in general, you know?
Yeah. That active shadow work and yeah,
Yeah.
using the tools available,
All of
meditate.
that is as much medicine as the substances themselves.
Right.
That
Exactly.
mindset is the medicine, and
Yeah.
the way when those medicines are working best is when they're pointing you toward that mindset. You're open toward that mindset, and
Yes.
you're just open to love. I think love is the word, man. It's the word that
100%.
resonates most closely in the English language to what it is that I'm getting at.
All you need is love, brother. I'm with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I've seen all the Don Miguel Ruiz stuff. I can't tell you. I talked about some of the influential documentaries, but some of the most influential books for me were Four Agreements, 100%.
I love that.
Um, Eckhart Tolle's Power Now, and what's the other one? New Earth. Celestine Prophecy early on was a big one for me,
Hmm.
for sure. Um, but yeah, those are some that come to mind, at least during my initial awakening, that really helped me like put words to what I was experiencing, because that was a big trouble I had for me, like early on with plant medicine, was not having peers I could integrate with or like talk to about it.
It's funny that you say that. The first 29 episodes of this podcast was called Alienation, which
Mm,
was like a punny play on words, because it's like alienation, but a nation of aliens to try to unite us, the
yes,
alienated mindsets, or the people that think like this that might
yes,
feel alienated.
right.
But after a while, I was like, it just doesn't hit the way that I want it to, and the balancing act was more perfect.
I love it, dude. That's literally my life journey, bro. It's all about balance. I always say 1 foot in, 1 foot out, brother. You get too wrapped up in the material, you lose your footing. You get too wrapped up in the spiritual or the metaphysical, you lose your footing, you get ungrounded,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, I don't even see it as good and bad. A lot of people see it as good and evil, but to
right.
me, like, you need both, and
Yes.
and evil
Yes.
doesn't have to be evil. We can start to respect darkness as unlimited potential and start
Right.
to revere the feminine for what it is and its power. It's not evil. You know what I
Alchemize
mean?
it.
So yeah, alchemize it. Yeah,
Yes,
I
sir.
love both sides. I love the darkness and the
Right.
light. You know,
Embrace it. Bring light to it.
1000%.
Yeah. I'm all about it, dude. Um, yeah, what were we just going back to there?
I don't remember. My next question was, when did you start your podcast? How long ago was that?
Yeah, so that started during the pandemic, like 2020-ish,
Mm,
2019. I think I put out some episodes 2018, 2019, of just myself and a couple friends just kind of fucking around. Cuz like initially for me, dude, I was waiting on my friends to start one with me. Like I had like a group of 4 or 5 like-minded friends in my area when I was living in Lincoln, and um, I was always waiting on them, right? But I feel I like opened my throat chakra to like want to speak my truth finally, and like forthright, and I stepped into that after it and like went, balls deep, fucking, full speed ahead. Like I I think who was my first guest? I think True Seeker, if you know who that is. He's a rapper, has his own podcast. Um, he was real good friends with Jordan Maxwell when he was still alive, and had him on multiple times,
that's
and
awesome.
knew him like really well. And I always connected with True Seeker. He was a Christian mystic, and he got a lot of hate from like the very staunch Christian crowd. And I always respected like how he held himself amongst his peers that would like criticize like his approach and things. And so he was my first guest, and it just kind of took off from there. And like I didn't realize how easy it was, like knowing I had all the tools right in front of me, and it was only myself that was holding me back. And just getting over yourself in that way of like
Mm.
all right, stop making excuses and put yourself out there already. Like the time is now. Like,
You're
what are
talking to
you
me
waiting
right now.
for?
I can feel that.
Yeah, dude. So, yeah, I mean, you're talking to me, dude. I've been off for a year and a half, so I'm getting my bearings back under me. But this is the year, man. The year of the horse. We're full speed ahead.
Hell yeah, jump on that horse. I think you were, if I'm guessing, making an assumption, which I don't like to do, but I feel like you wanted to go back to like influential books or documentaries, or because you were kind of in that lane, I think.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, A Course in Miracles kind of came up
Hmm.
throughout uh, my time with ayahuasca, around the time I was picking up with my
That's
podcast.
Dispenza, right?
Uh, Course in Miracles, it's multiple authors. I don't know off
Okay.
the top of my head, but it's kind of a revolutionary view on God and things. Law of One was a big one. Um, trying to think back. I guess Bill Cooper was a big teacher for me early on. Mystery Babylon series. Started to get into Manly P. Hall's Secret Teachings of All Ages. That was a monumental read for me. Um, I read 420 Magical Herbs and the Occult, which is a huge
Chris
book.
Bennett.
Yeah, read that one before I interviewed Chris. And yeah, man, just honestly just putting myself out there and like reaching out to people I always wanted to talk to and being super surprised that they were just humans just like me, and like I guess like closing off that like gap you think you have between someone who's accomplished things in life or like done things you've wanted to do, and you're like, man, I want to be like them. And then
Yeah.
you interview them, it's like they say never meet your heroes, but it's like I feel like I've met most of them at this point, the ones that are still alive, and I'm grateful for that. I'm eternally grateful, dude.
Uh, Dude, I just got back from Teotihuacán visiting. It was, the Ruiz family's power journey to Teotihuacán. So I met Don
Wow.
Miguel,
Wow.
Miguel Jr., Jose, like,
That's
and for
dope.
me, like, it's not just the four agreements is the intro for me. Like the
Right.
Toltec, all those books you've named, I've heard of all of them. I even have a couple of them, and just haven't gotten to them. I have dove deep into the Toltec stuff.
Wow.
Whether it's the Fifth Agreement, Beyond Fear, Mastery of Self, Mastery of Life. There's a whole mystery school series. Like, to me, that's just what resonated. And I mean, I'm with anything that resonates with people and brings the love out of them. You know what I mean? But for me, it was just the Toltec stuff has been the most impactful. So I've just kind of followed that thread, and I'm going back to Mexico next month. So
Man, that's
it's
amazing.
yeah, dude. It's been the start to 2026 has been nothing short of magical. I mean, it's been.
Oh yes.
I was in a hot air balloon for the first sunrise of 2026
Wow, dude.
over Teotihuacan.
What a start.
um, just incredible, dude. Just absolutely incredible.
Yeah,
Um,
he's been an extremely influential, powerful teacher of mine. I just listened to a podcast he did last night, because I stumbled on this guy named Joel Goldsmith. I don't know if you're familiar with him,
mm-mm,
but he sounds an awful lot like Manly P. Hall, and I just heard about Bill Donahue's passing. Rest in peace to Bill. But someone commented on his post talking about Joel Goldsmith, so I started listening to one of his lectures and really connected with it. He was a Christian mystic as well, and Don Miguel was on that same podcast. I think it's called like Tributaries or something. And I didn't even know Don Miguel, the senior, was still doing podcasts at this point or like getting around, because I hadn't heard him much in the public light. I just read multiple of his books. I think I read Mastery of Love, Mastery of Self, uh, obviously the Four Agreements, the Fifth Agreement. I I think I got another one of his on my on my toilet stand, but just for daily wisdom. But yeah, I haven't read all of them, but I guess I haven't dove into like his personal school or anything like that. But that's incredible, bro. I had no idea like you were that connected with him. That's
well, yeah, I
amazing.
mean, I wouldn't say that. I just met them,
Right.
but it's been 17 years of studying. You know, I've read almost all of those books multiple times. The Voice of Knowledge is one that was
Yes.
really crucial for me as well. Um, but yeah, man, it's been one of the questions I wanted to ask though before I forget is there anything that you say when you ask these people? You know, I've listed all of the ones that I know of earlier, and then you mentioned Chris Bennett, Chris August, Tommy Chong. I think were maybe the few I didn't mention.
Yeah.
But is there anything that you say to you? Because for me, I feel there's this balance, right, where it's like I
Yeah.
feel like I need to consume and digest some more of their I don't want to feel like I'm going I want to feel knowledgeable about what I'm talking about, but then it's like there's a point where I was like 90 hours of content that I consumed from Brandon Joe Williams before I invited him on, before I felt comfortable, but it's like I can't spend 90 hours of my life just for every guest. Like at what point is it like, all right, I've got enough information to where I can feel comfortable inviting them? And then is there anything you say specifically in these invites that, you recommend when you reach out to these guys or these ladies?
Yeah, I would say just be yourself, man. And, don't like come off as like demanding or like, you know, off-putting or like needy or like begging. Just be yourself and they'll recognize that and like I can't tell you the number of compliments I got that like were like holy shit, like this person just like complimented me like I'm just a regular dude, like I'm nobody special. And it like dawned on me like we're all just human, like we are just human. We really are. And like as far as um getting in touch with them, I think it's just a matter of making connections. I'm a bridge builder, and I mean from the moment me and Ryan met, we were like brothers instantly. Like just really connected with him. And just meeting the right people early on. Mark Steves was a big connection for me early on and still is to this day. I love Mark. He's the host of My Family Thinks I'm Crazy podcast. He,
I have heard of that.
yeah, he does the booking for Tinfoil Hat
Okay.
with Sam Tripoli,
Gotcha.
and also is now doing the booking for Kurt Metzger. I just found out not too long ago. So super proud of you, Mark, for what you're doing. But, I think it really just comes down to like time management. And like for me, dude, like I work a full time job, like shit, like pick up other jobs if I can sometimes, like just to make ends meet. Like I'm doing my best out here, but still got to pay the bills. And um, for me, it was a passion and a hobby, but at the same time, I knew like my time was limited. I could pour into it, and at one point, when I had a retail job, I had more downtime where I could pour into it. I could spend time on video clips and stuff like that, and like put all that extra work in. But like I also didn't want to like completely lose my social life or like time with my girlfriend or whatever. Like I wanted to have balance, and like I knew that for every interview I did, man, I always asked the same first question. And like some people might see that as cheesy or um like too forthright or like um how should I put it? Like just like too
Robotic, maybe.
rhetorical, yeah. But like for me, like it wasn't just a question, it was like an opening. It was like a
What
door.
is it? I'm curious now.
Let's see if I can remember it verbatim. For those who aren't familiar, can you please explain to me what woke you up and uh, God, how did it go? It's been so long, bro. What woke you up? Who or what woke you up? And something like that. But like, just allowing them to like open up about their awakening journey that led them to pursue what they're pursuing and talking about. And that, for me, like, was the same doorway anyone could walk through, and like you wouldn't even have to prepare much. It just opens the door to so many other questions, you
Yeah.
know.
Nah, like
And
that's origin story, basically. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
because
And
everybody that you're interviewing is going to be awake. You know, like
right,
in this
right,
podcast space, you know.
exactly. So just finding like-minded guests was key for me, and like, uh, yeah, just keeping it to a point where that that same model could fit everyone, and I could tweak it from there. And really, for me, it was just listening to other shows, hearing other shows they had done, reading their material as best I could, and preparing accordingly, you know. But knowing that no matter what podcast I listened to them on, I didn't just want to repeat a podcast they'd already done, you know, and
Right.
make it my own. I I knew that I had my own unique spin I was going to put on it. And you know, one of my personal favorite episodes uh, was with P.D. Newman. He's an author, and he wrote a series of books. His most recent one, he's theorizing and has a lot of pretty solid evidence, from what I've gathered, that Native Americans up north, and not just South America, had their own form of ayahuasca. And uh, he's one of the first people to like bring this forth as far as like recently, I guess, and wrote a whole book on it. But the one I said was my favorite was the psychedelic secret of Freemasonry, which was something I had been curious about, you know, studying Masonry outside of the lodge and like their symbolism and all that stuff. And like coming to my own conclusions about, okay, there's something here that has to do with dimethyltryptamine. And why are they putting the sprig of acacia on all these graves that happen to be Masons? Like, there's some symbology here that's more than just, you know, allegorical.
Hmm.
And P.D. Newman literally wrote a book theorizing the same conclusions I had had. And I see no one else talking about it. And we just really hit it off too. He's a great guy. Love PD, and really enjoyed talking to him specifically. That's one I'll always look back on. Like, yeah, he really connected some dots there for me, and like sparked my curiosities like to the max. And just like feeling like, you know, other people have interviewed him and covered that material, but I feel like there was things within myself that I feel I needed to get out there and like share my own, you know, throw my own, you know, uh, put my own spin on it, you know, and just leave my mark to it.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely I have confidence in myself in terms of like being able to ask the right questions and keeping the flow of conversation.
Yeah.
And I am legitimately interested in people's stories, which I think is kind of the key. You know, like if you're not legitimately interested in other people's stories, it's going to be hard to be a podcast host.
Right.
um,
100%.
but I did listen to the one you did, I guess not super recently since it's been a while, but the most recent one that you had done with Ryan. And I was just
Yeah.
like, yeah, this is this guy. We definitely are on this. It's almost like we're too much the same. I don't even know
Yeah.
where to go with the conversation at this point because it's like, yeah, you're awesome. I don't know what
Yeah.
else to say.
Hey, I love you, brother. And
I love you,
yeah,
man.
anybody that Ryan loves and you love, you know, I'm sure we'll hit it off.
I do have a question. Are you
He's a good dude.
utilizing any of this Brandon Joe Williams knowledge?
I have not put the pen to paper yet, but I
Okay.
do have dear friends of mine who have, who
Hmm.
give me a lot more confidence. I'm not saying Brandon himself doesn't give me confidence. He's just not someone I know like
Personally, right, right.
personally or have met in person.
Hmm.
And Um, I yeah, I think Brandon's fucking kicking ass.
Yeah.
And I think he's inspiring many, man. And like there's many avenues to go with that. And I've listened to so many different teachers in that arena, man, and like learned so much. But I know I still have
Oh, there's so much.
so much more
That's a
to
bottomless pit. The sovereignty
exactly.
space is insane. It's like I
Exactly.
don't know. I've got to focus on the things that I need to focus on. I got 2 speeding tickets dismissed yesterday, bro, from
Nice.
Cameron James Wilson being able to help me out. Like
Wow.
it was an interesting experience, dude. In the courtroom, like it was just speeding tickets, so I was like, I'm just
Right.
gonna approach it as practice because worst case scenario is like a couple $100, it was $100 per speeding ticket,
Right.
but it wasn't a moving violation because they know like the traffic laws they wouldn't be able to like actually convict people because it's an automated speeding thingy. Like they didn't
Right.
actually pull me over, so you have a right to face your accuser, but
Right.
they're just trying to like it's a civil penalty.
Yeah, I was
They've
gonna ask if
weaseled
there
their
was
way
one
into
of
like
those.
making this a money racketing scheme basically.
Right.
um but it was kind of interesting to hear all the arguments from the people that don't really know this stuff, and it's like I feel for them because they're just like, yeah, this is fucked up, pretty much like trying to like make their argument to the judge, and the judge is like, well, I don't make the laws, $100, but you know what I'm saying? It's like, oh my god, dude.
Right.
So they waited because the affidavit and the notice for demand for dismissal and all of my paperwork was official, bro. The shit that Cameron James Wilson put together for me.
That's
So
a
they saved
smart
me for
dude.
last. Like it was very interesting because there was like 3 other people in the courtroom with me, and he was like, I've only got William Carson left. Like if you're in here and you think you have a hearing today, go talk to the clerk. Like he made sure nobody else was in here because he was like worried that I was about to drop some knowledge that he didn't want other people here. And but I
Wow.
didn't say much at all. I just I walked up there and I was like, I'm just not going to say anything. I'm going to give them as little information as possible.
Right.
And hopefully they dismiss it. And that's what happened. He was like, he brought up all the formal, it's registered to you. We've got the picture of the license plate, but they didn't have a picture of me. So I was just like, I wasn't driving, and then
Right.
they have to
Yeah, you have
rebut
no
that
burden of
presumption.
proof. Right.
And then when you think about the definition of driving, I wasn't even lying because
Right.
I wasn't
Traveling.
driving.
Yeah.
I wasn't in commerce. You know what I mean? So I didn't
Right.
even have to technically lie. I was just like, it wasn't me driving.
Right.
And then he was like, "Who was driving?" And I was just like, "I literally don't know." Like I had the car garaged at my family, at a family's residence for a while,
Hmm.
and I let them have the key, which
Right.
may not have been all the way true, but it may have been true. I don't know.
Right. Yeah, I mean,
But
Sam
prove
Tripoli
it.
claims he's gotten off of like 15 traffic tickets or something crazy like that.
Yep.
And yeah, I don't know his method, but I'm sure it was something similar, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about presumptions.
Right.
If you rebut their presumption, they're presuming you're a United States citizen. They're presuming you're acting in commerce. They're making all sorts of presumptions. All you have to do is rebut it, and then they have to prove your whatever you say wrong. If you
Right.
rebut and make a statement as a part of your rebuttal, they have to now rebut anything that you said. Otherwise, your
Right.
presumption stands.
It's that simple.
Yeah, yeah,
It
dude,
goes on and
it's
it
amazing.
never ends.
It's all about confidence too, though. Like
It really is.
that's
It
their
really
whole thing
is.
is they've got it like ritualized. They're wearing their black gown and they're up on the high chair and they've got the bailiff and it's all official. But it's all that's all aesthetic just to scare you, really.
100%, bro. It's all a dog and pony show. We all
Mm-hmm.
know it is. Well, maybe
Yep.
not all of us, but we're getting there.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's what I see in the whole movement, man, is like we are getting there. Like more and more people are gaining confidence. I mean, just seeing all the people, maybe not even in the sovereign space, but or state national space,
COVID did a number on people, man.
100%. Like just seeing all the people, like you keep hearing about all the people that are going to boycott taxes this year. I
Yeah,
mean, that's like seems to be mainstream at this point.
yeah,
So I
yeah,
think we're getting somewheres, but it's a crazy world.
yeah.
I knew you had human vibration on. I wanted to talk to you about like
That was actually one of my next things because I didn't see her on your list. You haven't had her
I
on?
have not had her on.
That's a recommendation.
Yeah, I always thought about reaching out. I just never manifested yet, but I'm sure this might be the year.
Yeah, definitely reach out to her. She's fun to talk to, and I love that stuff, man. The deep fakes and I
Right.
mean, it goes all the way back to JonBenét Ramsey, like, which is how she kind of got known, was her thread on
Sure.
JonBenét. And I remember that as a kid, and it always felt off to me. And then now looking back, it's like that was the rollout to see like how well they were able to deceive people with deep fakes. Those were the original, those were the beta deep fakes, man. That's some crazy shit when you look back. And those half the pageants that she was in don't even exist outside of the years that she won. You know what I
It's
mean? Like,
crazy, dude.
yeah,
I
it's
remember her
wild.
face on all the tabloids growing up, like as a little kid,
It's wild. The
and all the fear they put out from
MK
that.
Ultra
Like
is
you're
had
gonna get
never
your kid
never was.
kidnapped.
Yeah,
Don't
MK
trust a
Ultra did
stranger.
not ever die for sure. That shit is active right now.
Dude, I feel like that's what ramped up stranger danger was John
Yeah.
Bonet. Like that, because think about then, like when that happened to now, as far as like who trusts strangers or like,
Hmm.
don't never trust a stranger. Like
Yeah,
shit, people don't even trust their neighbors these days half
I
the time.
know.
It's
It's
crazy.
insane. It really is. The disconnection among people. And I think it's the internet algorithm, man.
It
Like,
is echo chambers.
phew, the
And
brainwashing is so real.
that's part of why I detached too, man. Like I just needed a break from it all, like mentally and like moving out of state's a whole chore in of itself and you know, family matters and all that stuff. But like just the social media bubble, man, that we can fall into and like just the loosh we give away to it, man. Like and I know you talked about that on one of your shows, like just the word loose, man. It's like
Hmm.
it's got lose in there.
Lose and shut. So
Yeah.
shut up and lose.
Yeah, terrible,
Yep.
terrible mindset for your life.
Yeah, it's interesting. That's why I love the Toltec stuff, man, because it's
Yes,
the alchemy, it's the transforming of all of this
yes,
garbage, the mitote. It's just noise. It's just
right,
noise, and we can redirect the noise and write our story the way we want instead of reacting to all this garbage all the time.
right, and
And
it's
find our personal power in our own awareness and our own connection to life. You know,
right,
I call it the divine, and but then like people that aren't spiritual, I feel like that like turns them off. But it's like it's literally just life.
right. Yeah, it's like put any word on it. We're talking about the
Yeah,
same thing.
yeah,
People need to get past that shit
for sure.
because I feel like even in Don Miguel's how he talks about like the parasite, it kind of
Hmm.
reminds me of the Watiko stuff from Paul Levy. If you're familiar with him, oh man, yeah, there. It seems like there's some crossover there as far as like what's being discussed. But yeah, I think spiritual sickness is a real thing, man, and like that's what we're really talking about with mental health, and that's a whole nother conversation. But
Yeah,
man,
well, let's talk about it because mental health is it seems like it's a buzzword and is kind of more and more popular, but like emotional health, people
right,
kind of get scared if you start talking. Like, they freeze up a little bit if you start talking about emotions. But what is mental health? But wanting to clear a channel so that you can be happier,
right,
which is an emotional state. Like
right,
the whole point of mental health and like focusing on it is to be happy, which is an emotion. So why not talk about our emotions?
right, exactly. It
It's we're not all the way there
blows my
yet. I mean, we're heading
mind.
in the right direction, but yeah.
Yeah, we're getting there, man. We're on the path, and that's all I know. We're on the path.
Do you know? I'm sure you do. Do you know about Alex Zeck and the way forward?
Yes, sir. No
Yeah,
doubt.
that has been that's kind of what I want to model my channel after. I don't want to be exactly like him, obviously, but
Right,
his
right.
open mindedness, the type of people that he gets on, um,
Big ups to
even
him.
the thing I love about Alec is when I disagree with him, I'm like, it's the most loving, respectful disagreement. It's like
Right.
I love the way you think. I just don't happen to agree with you on this, but like the way you arrive at your decisions, it's just all of it is. And he's very open, which I love that. I'm a very
Yeah,
open person as well. So
yeah,
he's just like, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. You know what I mean? It's like
right.
I love that. I've been wrong plenty. So
Yeah, he's a renegade of sorts, man. Like he kind of came in and just like never looked back. Like
viruses aren't real.
yeah, he's
It's like,
risen to the
prove
top,
it.
man.
It's like the presumption shit. It's
Right.
like, y'all are presuming that they are real, and there's never been a study proving that they are. So, like,
Right.
Prove it.
right? Yeah, no, I've been big on that. I had Daryl Becker on to talk about that, but I always wanted to get Dr. Andrew Kaufman to discuss that particular subject, just terrain versus germ.
Hmm.
And Alec does a fabulous job of covering that stuff. Um, yeah, I was thinking about going to Confluence, but I don't know if I can swing it this year, but hopefully some year in the future. Um,
Yeah, it's on my to do. Again, not sure if it'll happen this year, but it's something in the back of my mind for sure.
for sure, dude. I'm thinking about the Elementals gathering coming up here in May. It's got like Owen Benjamin, Chris Topher, or Topher Gardner, Marty Leeds, Dr. Moshi, um, Eileen McCusick, Chance Gardner, a bunch of dudes and women that kill it. So, or heal it, I should say. Not
Yeah, man. Well,
learning.
I I get what you mean.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, man. This has been awesome. I'm cool with ending it here. I know it's only
Yeah.
been
No,
like
I'm
an
good with
hour,
it.
but like you're on the right vibe, man. Just keep doing what you're doing.
Likewise, bro.
If I can be any inspiration for you to get your podcast going again, just from scrolling and looking at the names on there, I was like, yo, I gotta go back and listen to some of this. This looks great.
For sure, dude. Yeah, I connected. So I connected. Are you still recording?
Yeah.
Oh, uh, I was just gonna say, I was gracious enough to be connected to Tommy Chong through Mark Steves. Shout out to Mark, and I think I ended up connecting Tommy with Ryan, which is crazy, like how it all works. But yeah, just like all the connections I made, dude, are I'm forever grateful, man. And like they just kept giving, man. And that was like the biggest surprise for me. And I think I've said it in past guest appearances. It's just like how opening and welcoming everyone was and like willing to help out, fellow podcasters. Like it wasn't like a competition. It's like, no, like the more the merrier. Like iron sharpens iron. Like,
Yeah.
and I really respected that about the craft and just like the kindness shown and not so much bitterness because like in the world we live in you would think that'd be inevitable, and I'm not saying it doesn't exist, especially in the top 1% of podcasters. I'm sure it's super competitive, but you know to know I'm still in the top 5% of the world, like I guess somebody's listening. And, I never thought I'd get there, but here I am. And I'm still standing, even after taking a break. And yeah, I do plan on getting back this year, man. And you're a big inspiration in that by having me on your show and, extending the invite and, just the timing of life and, how it brings us out of ruts, and here we are. Here now.
Oh, that's awesome to hear, man. It's awesome to hear. So, where I noticed your platform wasn't on YouTube. It was,
Yeah, so I have like a YouTube channel. I probably only have like 10 videos up. For me, I stuck to audio only just because of the turnaround time and like time management. Like I said, I stayed away from video just because I'm not super tech savvy. So I was learning on the fly, like you are, you said.
yeah,
And audio was just so much easier, man. And I always thought, if I ever start a plus content or whatever, like a Patreon, like I have all my past video logs I could always, re-release and like edit down and, make clips of and stuff like that. But just as far as getting it out to the world and to the listeners, it just seemed like audio only was the way to go for at least my situation and work life balance and all that.
yeah. So, what platform is it though?
Yeah, so I Spreaker is my hosting site, but I'm on Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, all that good stuff.
Cool,
Um,
cool. Yeah, I'll link it in the notes.
so yeah, only a few up on YouTube, but you can find some up on there. If you search my name, I got some guest appearances on there I've done on other shows.
And where are you, man? Are you still in Minnesota, Nebraska,
I am in Kansas now.
in
Yeah,
Kansas? Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Hell yeah. Do you do any traveling, or are you just mostly hanging out? Because I'll say, like I said, I just got back from Mexico and I'm about to go again to Mexico, but I hadn't traveled much in my life. In fact, I kind of like convinced myself that it was overrated a little bit because there is some hassle involved with travel.
Right.
But like if you're going somewhere that you're passionate about and like,
Yes.
especially out of the country where people speak different languages and you just get to see a totally different vibe, totally different lifestyle,
Right.
and like the power of a smile, just smiling at people to let them know like I'm cool, you know what I'm saying? They'll smile back. Like the smiling is powerful,
Yes, sir.
Um
I'm with you.
now I got the bug, man. Now I like want to travel the whole world. Like I want to go everywhere this
Oh
year.
yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do travel a lot. I definitely like driving over flying, but
Hmm.
I know I need to get out of the country again. Should have been a long time since I've been out of the country. But yeah, Mexico is definitely on my bucket list. I still haven't been to Mexico, and with all the nonsense going on, like it seems like you never want to go there, but you know I talked to people that were just there last week, so it's like
Yeah.
seems to be fine.
Yeah, and it was, I mean, in my experience, which was only 2 weeks ago,
Right.
the most amazing experience, like probably the best time I've ever had in my life ever. Period.
Mexico.
And I'm still riding high from it. Like time is now, So I mean,
Yeah.
time is an illusion anyway. But that 5 day moment is never going to be forgotten for me.
What part of Mexico was it in?
Teotihuacán, the same,
Oh,
like yeah,
wow.
where the Plaza of the Dead
Okay.
is, and the
Yeah,
Pyramid of the
yeah.
Sun, Pyramid of the Moon.
So you got to see all that.
Oh yeah, from a hot air balloon, dude. From a hot air
Wow.
balloon on January 1st, this watching the sunrise. I took
That's
this picture.
incredible.
You know how iPhone has like live picture, and it's basically like a split second of video instead of a
Yeah.
real photo. I snapped the picture at the moment the sun broke the horizon. Like you can see on the live picture, it gets brighter in that like moment that I took the photo.
Wow. I got to see
Fucking epic.
that. That's amazing. Yeah, it's definitely on my bucket list. That'd be my premier destination would be going to see the pyramids down there
Yeah,
for
for
sure
sure.
over anything. And yeah, I definitely do a lot of road trips around the states and want to get back out to the East Coast. I've only been to Boston out there. I'd like to get to a lot of states out there and
Yeah, I
go
was
go
gonna
to
say, man, if
Colorado
you're ever
once a
in
year
Virginia, hit
usually.
me up, man. I'm in Richmond.
Hell yeah, dude. Love to get out there. I was just looking at a festival out there.
What
Definitely something to think
festival?
about. Uh it was a reggae festival. I forget the name of it, but it had like all the all the regulars, slightly stupid,
That makes sense. That's probably in
Sublime.
Virginia Beach,
Yeah,
Norfolk
Virginia
area.
Beach. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense.
How far is Virginia Beach from you?
It's only an hour, dude. Not if that.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Wow.
well, I guess Virginia Beach. If you go all the way down to the beach, it could be like an hour and a half. But like you can cross the tunnel into the 757 Hampton Roads area, Norfolk, Newport News, Hampton, Chesapeake,
Oh
Virginia
yeah.
Beach. I can get there in an hour. If you get to go all the way to the beach, might be like an hour and a half.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah,
Well, I might think about that one. Give you a call.
open invite, bro. Anytime.
Yeah.
You got a great vibe.
Likewise, brother. Well, it's been a pleasure, man, and thanks so much for having me.
Absolutely, dude. Enjoy your evening.
Oh, you too.
Peace.
Peace.
I got that. Yeah, heard them call me conscious. I ain't think about it honestly. My thoughts too deep to process, so I do this all unconsciously. Finally feeling God bless. Got 'em woke up dropping prophecy. Don't take it out of context. Just before, I swear they always sleep. Now they catch the message, yeah. Bet that every song is deep. It's levels in each concept. But I can't just never mono theme. I'm trying to lead this flock for the cause, not the following. People upon a partner, and I wonder why they drawn to me. Once upon a time, I thought to follow up a dream. Draw life about these lines, nothing twice about these schemes, and like thrice about these insights. What I write is like a blueprint for you to comprehend life. That's light, I reckon, make you shine. Never dim it down, even if you live surrounded, where everybody vision clouded. Remember staying down ain't quite as good as getting out. It said remember staying down ain't quite as, ay. If you believe, yeah, Many doubted it was hard for them to think. Somehow I'm finally getting out of that set. Usually, a vision clouded, but as you can see by now, we finally getting out there writing truth, spreading love. Tell me how you feel about it. Got this music from above, that's how I know I'm getting out there writing truth, spreading love. Tell me how you feel about it. Got this music from above, that's how I